Okay, 6.3, starting off with the warm-up. If we want to take 2.5 minutes to solve this, so pause the video, and then take a couple minutes to try and solve this warm-up. Okay, solving this. This is synthetic substitution, so we need all of our coefficients. So I need to rewrite this actually, because I have negative 5x to the fourth, but I do not have an x to the third power. So I'm going to place a 0, x to the third, so I can get the x to the third power. I have a 3x squared, and I have a 2x, and then our whole number is negative 5. So in order, I have a 4, 3, 2, our x, and then the whole number of negative 5. So it's perfect. I have every piece. Using synthetic substitution, we are going to plug in negative 1 into this backwards L. Okay? And then we're going to write all the coefficients up top. Negative 5, 0, 3, 2, and negative 5. The first step is bringing down this negative 5. And we always do that using synthetic substitution. And then, the number below that line, we have to multiply with the number in our little half a box here. So negative 1 times negative 5 is a positive 5. And we write it right below the 0. Okay. Now we're adding 0 plus 5. What's 0 plus 5? It's 5. Okay, we added this. Next, we're going to multiply negative 1 by 5. Negative 1 times 5 is negative 5. Again, we're adding. What's 3 plus negative 5? That's negative 2. And then the same thing. Multiply this negative 1 by the negative 2, we get a positive 2. Positive 2. Add those. What's 2 plus 2? 4. And multiply one more time. Negative 1 times 4 is negative 4. And then add. What is negative 5 plus negative 4? That's negative 9. That's our final answer. That is using synthetic substitution. Moving on. For our notes today, 6.3, we're going to be adding, subtracting, and multiplying polynomials. Let's just go right into our first example. We have 2x to the third plus 3x squared minus 5x plus 2 in parentheses. Normally, we see parentheses and we want to simplify everything inside the parentheses. We want to solve parentheses first. But there is nothing that can be simplified in either of these parentheses. The reason for that is because we don't have like terms. Okay. Like terms means we have a 2x cubed right here. 2x to the third power. We don't have any other x to the third powers. So we can't add or subtract anything. Okay. So, if you can't simplify anything inside the parentheses, drop them. So I'm just going to rewrite this without parentheses. 2x cubed plus 3x squared minus 5x plus 2 plus negative 3x cubed minus 6x squared plus 2. Okay, now, without parentheses, we can combine like terms. So I have a 2x cubed, 2x to the third power. do I have another x to the third power anywhere in that polynomial? I do, it's right here. So we're going to combine those. 2x to the third power and negative 3x to the third power. Well, how many x to the third power is that? That is, we have a 2 and a negative 3. That makes a negative 1x to the third power. Okay. I'll write that in red so that's how I know where I got it. Negative 1x to the third power. And then I'm going to go to my next term. It's a 3x squared. Do I have another x squared? I do it right here with a negative 6x squared. A 3 and a negative 6 make a negative 3x squared. Next, I'm going to go to this 5x. It's a negative 5x. Do I have another x anywhere? I don't. So that just gets written down below. And then finally, my like terms 2 and 2 make a positive 4. That's as far as I can take it. That's as simple as I can make that polynomial. That is it. That's our final answer. Okay, it's written in standard form because we go from the highest exponent to the lowest. And we combine all like terms. Okay, next one. This one's a little different from the one above. The one above, we had an addition sign. This one, we have a subtraction sign. Okay, that makes a huge difference. Every time you see a subtraction sign in front of parentheses, you should, a red flag should go up in your head. Okay, something needs to go off and say, oops, we got to fix something, or we have to change something. This negative in front of the parentheses means we have to distribute to everything inside that parentheses. On the left side, the left parentheses, nothing's changed. So I'm just going to rewrite this as 4x squared minus 5x plus 1. When I distribute that negative, all the signs inside the right parentheses, everything in here, all the signs flip. So instead of a positive x cubed, I have a negative x cubed. Instead of a positive x squared, I have a negative x squared. Instead of a negative 3x, I have a positive 3x. And instead of a positive 4, I have a negative 4. From here, it's just like our last problem. We're going to combine like terms. Okay. I like to start with my highest degree. Right here, negative x cubed. And see if I have any other like terms. And if I don't, I'm just going to write it down here. I don't have any other like terms with x cubed. And then I'm going to go to x squared. I have a 4x squared and I have a negative x squared. That makes a 3x squared. And then I'm going to go to my x. I have a negative 5x and a positive 3x. That's a negative 2x. And finally, I have a 1 and a negative 4. Makes a negative 3. That's my final answer. And it's in standard form because my highest term is written first, my highest degree is written first, and it's followed by, it just keeps getting lower. Nothing else can be simplified, that is it. Next page. Find the product. Okay, now we're multiplying. This 2x is in front of the parentheses 3x squared minus x plus 5. Every time we see parentheses and numbers outside, we think distribute. So we have to take this 2x and we have to distribute to every part inside that parentheses. This first one, 2x times 3x squared. Start by multiplying the numbers. What's 2 times 3? It's 6. Okay. But now we have this x times x squared. We have x times x squared. How many x's is that? It's x cubed. So we have 6x cubed. Then we have 2 times negative x. If it helps, we can write a little 1 in front of here. It's a negative 1x. When we multiply, it makes it a negative 2, and then we have an x times an x, which is negative 2x. Right? So we have an x squared. And the last one, 2x times 5, we just multiply the whole numbers. 2 times 5 is 10. That x just tags along. That's it. That's our final answer right there. Okay, next problem. Again, we're finding the product. We have 2 sets of parentheses being multiplied together. This is that FOIL rule. F-O-I-L. FOIL. First, outside. I did 2 O's. Inside, and last. First, outside, inside, last. Let's start with first. First is the first terms in both the parentheses. 3x times 8x. We know what 3 times 8 is. It's 24. But then we have an x and an x. X times x is x squared. Next is outside. The outermost things. Okay, the furthest away from each other. 3x times negative 1. 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. The x just tags along. Inside, the 2 closest to each other. Negative 4 and 8x. Negative 4 times 8 is negative 32. And the x, again, just tags along. And then last. The last terms in both parentheses. Negative 4 times negative 1 is a positive 4. And when we have 2 sets of parentheses, we have to make sure that everything in both parentheses are being multiplied together. Okay, so I started with that 3x, multiplied it into the other parentheses. And when I was done with that, I went to the negative 4 and multiplied that into everything in the other parentheses. We are not finished with this problem yet. We're not finished because we still have like terms. We have like terms right here, negative 3x and negative 32x. If you combine those, that's negative 35x. Okay, I'm going to bring down the 4, and I'm going to bring down the 24x squared. That's our final answer. Okay. Next problem, I think, so we have a couple more. So, still multiplying. We have the 2x minus 1. We're still distributing every part. So, like I said the last problem, I'm going to start with this 2x. I'm going to multiply it to everything in this parenthesis. Let's start with that. So, the first one, 2x times x squared. Well, that's 2, and then x cubed. 2x times 3x, 2 times 3 is 6, x times x, that's going to be x squared. And then 2x times 2 is 4, and the x just comes along. Once you're done with the 2x, meaning you multiply that with everything inside the other parentheses, you can move on to this negative 1 and multiply that inside the parentheses. Negative 1 times x squared, that's negative x squared. Negative 1 times 3x, that's negative 3x. And then lastly, negative 1 times positive 2 is a negative 2. Now Not done with this problem yet. We still got to combine like terms. I like to start with my highest degree. 2x to the third. There's no other, there's nothing else to the third power, so that's alone. 2x to the third. We have a 6x squared and a negative x squared. That's positive 5x squared. Okay, we have a 4x and a negative 3x. That's really just 4 minus 3, which is 1x, positive 1x. And then this negative 2 just falls down. So when we multiply everything out, and then combine like terms. Still a couple. Okay. This one, where we have 3 sets of parentheses. What we're going to do is just break this up into this problem that I have boxed, okay, and what we have in the blue there. We're going to start with that. So, start by multiplying this x to both the x and the negative 4. X times x is x squared. X times negative 4 is negative 4x. Then move on to the 3. 3 times x is a positive 3x. 3 times negative 4 is a negative 12. Combine like terms. I have an x squared, nothing with it. I have a negative 4x and a positive 3x. That makes a negative x. And then this negative 12 falls down. Not done yet. Not done. I still have x minus 5. So that is still being multiplied by this. Now we have this multiplication problem. I start with the x squared. Multiply it inside these two parentheses, or in that parentheses. X squared times x is x cubed. X squared times negative 5 is negative 5x. And I'm going to move on to this negative x. Multiply by these two. Negative x times x is a negative x squared. Negative x times negative 5 is a positive 5x. And then lastly we have this negative 12. Negative 12 times x and negative 12 times 5. That's negative 12x and a positive 60. One more step, it's just combine like terms. Here we have an x cubed. No other x cubed, so that's part of my answer. I'm going to go on to x squared. I have one negative x squared, nothing else with it. That just goes into my answer. I have a negative 5x, a positive 5x, and a negative 12x. Combining all of those together, we have negative 12x. And then lastly, this positive 60 at the end. The final answer. Okay, so start with just the two parentheses and then multiply, combine like terms, and then multiply your final answer there with the other last parenthesis. I think this is the last one. Yep, last one here. Find the product. We have 5x minus 2 squared. What we have to do is we have to rewrite this. It's 5x minus 2 times 5x minus 2. And I'll show you why. What a lot of people like to do is they like to throw this 2, distribute it, and we get 25x squared minus 4 is what a lot of people think. Okay? I want to put question marks here. This is the way to solve it in blue here. 5x squared is really 5x minus 2 squared is 5x minus 2 times 5x minus 2, which is what I wrote out. I'm going to start with this FOIL method. 5x times 5x is 25x squared. And right so far, 5x times negative 2 is a negative 10x. And then I'm going to go with this negative 2 times 5x, that's negative 10x. And then negative 2 times negative 2 is a positive 4. So some people might have guessed a positive 4. That's fine. But what they've missed is this middle term. We have to combine these like terms. We have a 25x squared, but then negative 10x minus 10x is minus 20x. And that's what a lot of people miss and forget. There's our final answer. So when you have a parentheses squared, you rewrite it and multiply it up. Okay? If you have any questions, you can always email me. Hey, my school email me. I will try to do my best to answer any questions you may have. All right?